Good afternoon. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting. It is Tuesday, March 21st, 2023. It is 2:05 p.m. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Vice Chair Ty Menser. Commissioner Gary Edwards is excused for today. This meeting is being live streamed and it's available on the Thurston County YouTube channel. I'm calling this meeting to order and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Menser.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, would you like to do a land acknowledgement, Vice Chair Menser?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We would also like to start today's meeting with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial and who still inhabit the area today. Specifically the Squaxin Island, Chehalis, and Nisqually people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Thank you. Is there a motion for the approval of the Tuesday, March 21st agenda?
I move to approve the proposed agenda for Tuesday, March 21st, 2023.
I'll second. It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Next is an opportunity for the public to address the board. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address or reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phone for those members in the boardroom. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outburst of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of the RCW. No remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters could eventually come before the board on appeal. Thank you for your cooperation. I do not have anyone signed up on the list. So with that, I'll ask if there's anyone in the boardroom who would like to provide public testimony.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live over in East Olympia. I have a couple different particular comments that I want to address, and one of them happens to be with kind of a question of what is the most valuable asset Thurston County government has? Well, I believe it's the employees in the trenches doing the work of the people. That being stated, my perception and values is clearly not the perception or values of the majority of the Board of County Commissioners or the county managers. And I say that is why would I say such a thing? Well, one of the reasons why is because properly they should be paid a reasonable amount for their pay, which would include having increases in their pay according to what the rate of inflation would be. And when the county commissioners give less than half the rate of inflation increase in pay to the employees, it is an absolute statement of not caring about the employees. It amounts to a pay reduction to the employees of buying power to live each day. For that, I have to say shame on you, because apparently you have other things that are more important. What do the Board of County Commissioners and county managers value most? Empire building. Empire Building. Today, the commissioners will approve spending virtually $200,000 for rent for this month for this building, the atrium, amounting to $2,400,000 per year, which could have been used to pay employees. Today, the commissioners likely will announce hiring another assistant county manager at a cost of $150,000 plus per year, which could have been used to pay employees. Old saying is too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Do we really need 3 county managers? Did we need the atrium? No. We need to take care and maintain of the courthouse campus. The obvious question is, if the county can't afford to maintain the current facilities, such as the courthouse up there, how can it afford to take care of an additional 90,000 square feet of buildings? It can't. If just the cost of now of the committed atrium and the additional employee, county manager, $2,550,000 per year would have been spread amongst the approximately 1,000 employees, every single one of those employees could have enjoyed a benefit of about $2,550 per year increase, over $200 a month. But this building's more important, and having another county manager is more important. Are you proud of yourselves? Do you feel above all the employees you treat as peons? You should feel ashamed for that. Now, my other quick issue is going to have to do with an application going into the state. February 24th, you received a presentation of Thurston County Courthouse Infrastructure Upgrade Project. Well, that's nice, but you know what's odd? Is they put in an application to the state in order to go under the Project Review Committee for a Thurston County Court Complex renovation project. It's not even the same project. So I wanted to know one small thing. When did the county commissioners approve to change the courthouse into a court complex? Secondly, and I'll finish real quick.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I
You
just
have
need
4
to
minutes, sir.
finish. I appreciate, you don't want to
Okay.
hear. And the people do want to know
Moving
when
on
the
to
resolution
Zoom.
was.
We have Madeline Bishop.
Hi, I'm Madeline Bishop, and I live in Thurston County in Commissioner Edwards District. And I'm commenting about the Thurston 2045 scope of work briefing to the BoCC by the Planning Commission. And I'm asking you to add a new additional item called Protecting Agriculture to the scope of work. Protecting agriculture was the number 3 response from participants in the Thurston 2045 community survey. We need clear overall goals for conservation and protection of agricultural lands. Our comp plan must include metrics that track farm acreage and loss of rural land to housing, commercial, and industrial use. Please add a new optional item, protecting agriculture, to the scope of work for the new update to the comprehensive plan. And I want to thank the board for their conscientious work on the major comprehensive plan update. I know this isn't easy, and I appreciate your work. And I will be emailing my comments in so Commissioner Edwards doesn't miss out. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. I'm not seeing anyone else on Zoom, so with that, we'll move
I will
on.
conclude public testimony, Madam Chair. Thank you. I just got a quick update.
Okay,
It is my pleasure to announce the appointment of Mr. Robert Gilder to the second Assistant County Manager position. Robert joined us from Kitsap County, where he has spent the last 12 years as County Commissioner, representing North Kitsap area. Prior to serving the residents of Kitsap County, Robert held senior leadership executive management positions in the nonprofit mission-driven organizations. Robert holds a bachelor's in political science from the University of Rochester, New York. This is very timely as the county moves into a 5 commissioners representation. And Robin Campbell, the existing county manager, will focus on the internal operations of the county. And Robert, who goes by Rob, will be concentrating on the external operations of the county. It will be a transition time for Rob as he winds down as a commissioner in Kitsap County. So he will begin part-time in April 1st, 2023, and full-time in May 1st, 2023. And we have already scheduled for this Thursday, I believe at 4 p.m, a meet and greet here in this room for staff to get to know Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioner Menzer.
April 1st at a part-time, I missed the full-time date.
May 1st.
May 1st, okay.
Okay. Will that conclude county manager's update?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Moving on to consent items, there's matters 3A through 3E. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move to approve consent items 3A through 3E.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. This is a non-debatable motion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to department items. Items 4A is the approval of the voucher list.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for your consideration is for you to approve the voucher list for the week of February 27th, 2023 for a combined amount of $4,144,396.04.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
No.
Hearing no questions, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve the voucher list for the week of February 27th, 2023 for a combined amount of $4,144,396.04.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to central services, item 5A, contract award for public health and social services, water lab relocation, project number 25630. Tony Shaw, Capital Project Manager 1, will report this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tony Shaw, Capital Project Manager with Central Services. At this time, we are asking the Board of County Commissioners move to award a build contract for the Public Health and Social Services Water Lab Relocation Project number 25630 to Christensen, Inc., General Contractors out of Tumwater, Washington, in the amount of $649,000, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the contract and amendments due to unforeseen conditions only that do not exceed 10%. And I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
Nope, gone through this at a couple of work sessions if folks are interested, the 9 a.m. Tuesday briefings.
Thank you. I don't have any questions
right.
as well, so I'm ready for a motion.
I move to award a contract for Public Health and Social Services Water Lab Relocation, Project 25630, to Christensen, Inc., General Contractor, in the amount of $649,000, and authorize the Assistant County Manager to execute the contract and amendments due to unforeseen conditions only that do not exceed 10%.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to community planning and economic development, item 6A, final action for development code docket item A-18, agricultural activities, critical areas update. Ashley Arai, our agricultural community program manager, will report on this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. As you referenced, today's final action is for Development Code docket item A-18, and that's the Agricultural Activity Critical Areas Update. The proposal does consider amendments to Thurston County Code Chapter 1715, that's the Agricultural Activities Critical Areas Chapter, as well as Title 20 for the Critical Areas Ordinance. This proposal is to integrate with the county's approved voluntary stewardship program work plan and to establish a conservation planning option for any new agricultural activities and/or facilities not covered by that work plan. The Planning Commission did review this item at 2 work sessions, the first on July 20th of 2022 and the second on October 5th. A public hearing was then held before the Planning Commission on November 2nd of 2022, and following that hearing, the Planning Commission voted 9-0 to recommend approval of the proposal. The board was briefed on January 11th of this year, and a public hearing was held on February 28, 2023. And at this point, we just look forward to the board taking final action, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
Could you speak briefly to what the motivation for this docket item was in terms of kind of what's the goal? At a high level.
Yep, so 2-part to integrate with the county's approved voluntary stewardship program work plan that was approved back in 2017, as well as look for a new path forward for existing farms and or new farms to comply with critical areas ordinances. And that would be that conservation planning approach that is recommended by the state. So making it easier for farmers.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Questions? Okay. I'm ready for a motion. sir.
I move to approve the ordinance for Development Code Docket Item A17, Agricultural Activities Critical Areas Update, which amends Thurston County Code, Chapter 1715 and Title 24.
Sorry, do you say 17 or 18?
I said 1715.
Okay,
Thurston County Code, Chapter 1715.
No, the docket item 817 or 818?
I'll just repeat it, just in case I misstated. Move to approve ordinance for Development Code Docket Item A18, Agricultural Activities Critical Areas Update, which amends Thurston County Code, Chapter 1715 and Title 24.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Health and Social Services, item 7A, amendment number 12 to the Washington State Department of Health 2022 through 2024, consolidated contract number CLH 31030. David Bain, Public Health and Social Services Director, will present this item.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm here to request the Board of Commissioners to approve Amendment 12. This is part of our routine contract with the Department of Health. We are looking for an increase of $139,250, and this contract will continue through the end of next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Menzer?
Just for public benefit, consolidated contract, does it cover lots of different things, or is there one sort of, is it based for housing or
That's a great
environmental
question.
health?
It
or-
covers the gamut. It's everything. So almost all of our major contracts at the DOH come through this centralized contract. So it's federal funds through them. It's also their own state funds. It covers things like water cleanup to immunizations, to some of our ongoing COVID work. So it is the gambit. And so we'll get these amendments routinely as they make adjustments both to the policies part of the contracts, deliverables, and the contract amounts. So anytime there's a change, it comes through that format.
And is there any specific item that the amendment is?
It covers about 5 different changes, and they're all fairly small. Probably the largest change is there's a 6-figure dollar amount for immunization, particular to COVID. So kind of their last big stretch for DOH when it comes to COVID vaccines. Everything else is pretty minor changes in terms of contracts.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve amendment number 12 to the State of Washington Department of Health Consolidated Contract CLH 31030, providing an additional $139,250 for a revised maximum consideration of $12,548,883 for the duration of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign the amendment.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Thank you.
seems so short, just with two. I'm always expecting that third.
Just wait till next year.
Yeah.
Wait till next year.
Okay, moving on to item 7B, it's Department of Ecology Water Quality Combined Financial Assistance Agreement for Black Lake Pollution Identification and Correction Project. And Art Starry will be presenting.
Good afternoon. I'm Art Starry, the Environmental Health Division Director for Thurston County Public Health and Social Services, and I'm presenting this on behalf of Stuart Whitford, who was unavailable this afternoon. He's got other important things to work on. And so what we're asking you to do is to authorize the approval of an agreement with the Department of Ecology that will allow for pollution identification and correction work within the Black Lake area. You might recall that a few years ago, the Black Lake community came to you and asked for your assistance to follow up on a report that was done on their behalf to identify pollution sources within the Black Lake area. They found 3 streams or tributaries that had elevated levels of fecal coliform bacteria and phosphorus, and they also identified other areas that might be of concern, and they asked the county to see if they could provide resources to follow up on that work to further determine or to better differentiate and identify the sources of pollution and to correct those, because Black Lake, as you know, has some nutrient management problems. They have to routinely treat for phosphorus and other things, and so they wanted to see if there were tools that the county could bring to bear to help identify pollution sources. And so as part of the budget process for the 2 years ago, the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Health said that actually we could use some foundational public health services money to help address that problem. And in addition, we were encouraged to apply for a grant from the Department of Ecology that could bring additional resources for this. And the good news is we've received the grant. And so the grant will provide funding for the next 2 years to allow us to do work on the tributaries to identify pollution sources, both fecal coliform bacteria, or actually E. coli is technically what we'll be looking for, and phosphorus, as well as doing some innovative testing methods to better identify the exact sources of those bacteria. There's some new technologies or methods that are available that we have access to that'll help us be sure that we're focusing on the right areas, whether they're animals or people or other things that might be the source of the pollution. So that'll be taking place over the next couple of years. Our plan is, we've actually done some preliminary work to identify about 3,100 parcels where we'll be doing additional work. We anticipate that we'll actually probably be doing sanitary surveys or walking properties and looking at possible pollution sources on up to 500 properties, taking over 1,000 samples, water quality samples, to help identify pollution sources. And then if we do find problems, we'll work with the property owners to see if we can correct those. We'll take enforcement actions as necessary, but also primarily be working with education and outreach to try to see what we can do to help people improve land use activities or land management activities or maintain their septic systems or whatever might be necessary to help address the pollution problem. So we think this is a really neat project. The project grant amount is $333,000 total. That's the way the funding works is that the state provides 75% of the funding. The county has to provide 25% match. So it's a $250,000 grant, and with the match, it's $333,000. But when we looked at the total need for that project, the project manager, Stuart, I came up with basically a work plan that's cost $418,000, and so we'll be investing an additional $85,000 in round numbers of foundational public health services money to help make sure the project works well and to do everything that we envision is necessary for the work in that area. So I think this is a really neat project. It's an opportunity for us to work with the community members to address pollution issues, to try to help protect the water resources at Black Lake. And we're asking that you authorize us or approve this grant agreement.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Menzer.
Okay, so you anticipated most of my questions, Art, but one thing is like, so if you identified, let's say, a property with a failed septic and you were showing that that was a real problem and the repairs needed on that were very expensive, and the property owner didn't have that money, what happens at that point? I mean, what if you get to that kind of stalemate and you've got to stop the pollution of the water, but there's not?
So well, first we work to try to find, we actually have access, or the property owners have access to low interest loans that can be available if they need to repair a septic system. Okay. There's something called Craft 3. The county has an agreement with Craft 3 to provide, again, low-interest loans that can be financing up for 20 years. Interest rates can be, I can't remember exactly low, but they're like in the 3% or so, which is a pretty good deal these days. We also have some small grants that are available to help people if they have something that's needed to help maintain a septic system. So there are different tools that we have. If someone, I think maybe we've had someone vacate a home once. We work with people really hard to help them manage wastewater flows and take other actions to help minimize the surfacing sewage and to give them time to be able to make corrections, to be able to get the septic system to work properly. So, but we again, we do have different financial tools. We work with folks to provide the time necessary to make the corrections if that's necessary.
County Manager, I see your hand up. Do you have any additional questions, Commissioner? Okay.
My apologies. This morning, the board requested a revision on the motion that includes the grant. That did not occur. So I may propose a language for your consideration right after the Department of Ecology to add, including a grant for $250,000, and then for a total cost of the remainder remains. So my apologies.
Yeah, no, sorry, I should have caught that too, but we'll catch it up in the end.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I move to approve agreement number WQC 2023, big T, little h, big C, little o, big P, big H, dash 00177 for water quality combined financial assistance for Black Lake Pollution Identification and Correction Project with the Department of Ecology, including a grant for $250,000 for a total project cost of $418,792, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to execute the agreement.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer? Aye. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye.
Well, thank you
Okay,
very much.
Thank you. Okay, motion passes, and now we move on to item 8, which is from Public Works. Item 8A, Public Works Board Construction Loan for Country Club Road Northwest at Green Cove Creek Culvert Replacement, CP number 63023.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Karen Weiss, Assistant Director, Thurston County Public Works. Thurston County Public Works has been awarded a $4.5 million Washington State Public Works Board construction loan for the Country Club Road Northwest at Green Cove Creek culvert replacement projects. This was awarded to us through a competitive process, and Thurston County received the fourth highest project score from over 60 applicants. This loan provides a favorable funding mechanism and terms for the culvert replacement project. Is a 20-year loan term with an interest rate of 1.39%. Interest and principal payments are estimated to be approximately $260,000 annually and will be made from the county road fund. County is not required to utilize the entire available loan funding and may repay the unpaid balance of the loan in full at any time or make accelerated payments without penalty. The loan has been reviewed by the Finance Committee, and they are recommending the Board of County Commissioners approve this loan. Just as project background, the Country Club Road Northwest at Green Cove Culvert Replacement Project will install a 180-foot long 2-lane road bridge on Country Club Road Northwest over Green Cove Creek to replace a failing damaged culvert. This permanent solution was identified after extensive stakeholder engagement and engineering analysis. The total estimated project cost is $9.1 million, with additional planned funding beyond the construction loan coming from the county road fund, approximately $2.5 million of REIT 2 funding, and some stormwater utility funding. In addition, Public Works continues to apply for grant funding to offset the costs of this project.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Menzer.
No questions. I'm glad to see this move forward, and the culvert in question and the creek in question is salmon bearing and connects to a couple of other culverts that are hopefully we can replace moving further down the creek, or up the creek, I should say. Squaxin Island Tribe, it was contacted when we were kind of developing the priority for this, and as well as our local lead entity for salmon recovery. And they both indicated, in addition to the neighborhood, of course, the multiple benefits that can come from this project. So that's why we've prioritized it.
Thank you. And yes, I agree with what you said, Commissioner Menser. I'm happy that we're at this point in time. I remember right at the beginning of this, we were trying to, I know staff was really trying hard to kind of piece this together and how it was going to work. And I think the pieces have slowly fallen into place. And so I think this is going to be a great project, and very excited it's moving forward after this time and with a favorable outcome for sure. Okay, I'm ready for a motion, sir.
I move to approve the Washington State Public Works Board construction loan contract, PC 23-96103144, in the amount of $4,500,000 with a 20-year loan term and 1.39% interest rate, and authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menser? Aye. Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay. Moving on to our last department item, item G, or 8B, Long Lake Algae Control Contract Award 2023 through 2026. Tim Wilson, our Water Resources Manager. Or
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tim Wilson, Water Resources Manager with Public Works. And staff is here today recommending the board move to award the contract for Long Lake Algae Control to Aqua Techniques, LLC, for an amount not to exceed $850,000, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract. To provide some background on this topic, in response to an RFP issued by Public Works, a total of 1 proposal was received by a company specializing in aquatic algae management to conduct as needed annual 2-step phosphorus management applications for the Long Lake Management District for a maximum period of 4 years. The proposal from Aqua Techniques LLC was reviewed by Public Works staff, and based on the evaluation, the contractor is qualified to perform the services, and the cost estimate provided in the proposal is reasonable. This contract will provide for planning and implementing phosphorus mitigation for algae control using aluminum sulfate and Utasorb G, 2 phosphorus binding compounds that have demonstrated effective control of algae blooms in lake systems. The application of these products will follow the requirements of the Washington State Department of Ecology's Aquatic Plant and Algae Management Permit, which Thurston County operates under. These applications will reduce excess phosphorus available in the water column that fuels algal blooms. Algal blooms can become toxic and have a profoundly negative impact on water quality and public health, as well as reduce recreational opportunities due to lake closures. The phosphorus mitigation project and treatment planning are determined by county staff and the Long Lake Management District Steering Committee volunteers who work in partnership to complete work plans that improve and preserve the health of Long Lake. And with that background, I would answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioner Menser.
Tim, you may have covered this, but if you did, I missed it. Is this product been used before in Long Lake?
Yes, both products have been used previously in Long Lake.
And have we used this contractor, Aqua Techniques, before?
Yes, we use Aqua Techniques, have used them quite often in the past. And this company also provides support of our nuisance vegetation control work in both Long Lake and Lake Walnuts.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. I'm ready for a motion.
I move to award the contract for Long Lake Algae Control to Aqua Techniques LLC of Bellingham, Washington, for an amount not to exceed $850,000, and to authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards is excused. Commissioner Menzer? Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Okay. So with that, we'll go on to our standing items, starting with first item 9A. Commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken, as well as upcoming issues. Commissioner Menzer, we will start with you.
Okay, related to committee assignments, I attended the Chehalis River Basin Flood Authority on Thursday. I attended the Law and Justice Council meeting on Thursday. Other meetings that I sort of voluntarily attend is the Steady South Thurston Economic Development Initiative on Friday morning in Bucota. I was at the Jail Resource Team meeting on Friday. Respect to community events, and the board also met with the Chehalis Tribal Council yesterday down in Grand Mound. There's a Salmon Recovery Council meeting Thursday, so I had a prep meeting with stakeholders yesterday. Community events wise, there was a Rebuilding Together breakfast last Wednesday, the Interfaith Works Gala on Saturday, the VFW Post 318's 100th anniversary, which was right down the street from us. We're new neighbors here in 3000 Pacific. That post has been 100 years in existence, and it looks like that is it for my week.
Great, thank you. Attended some of the same things that you did. I attended the meeting with the Chehalis tribe. I thought with you, and I thought that went really well yesterday. I look forward to continuing our partnership with them. Also attended the study meeting down in Bucota. I attended the Legislative Steering Committee, and things are, I don't even know if I can say they're starting to wind down because they're technically not, but as we're going through more bills, it really is, I feel like the work has actually picked up. And then for intercity transit, this past Wednesday was Ann's last intercity meeting. So that was kind of a very bittersweet feeling. Just very happy for her and her next chapter, but definitely a huge loss for intercity transit. And there was an invitation that got sent out to all of the commissioners to attend her retirement party. And so that will be coming up, and that'll be, I think, a sweet gesture from all of us to kind of go and celebrate her achievements with intercity transit. Okay. Item 9B, the county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners' schedule for the week of March 21st, 2023.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me walk you through your combined schedule for this upcoming week. With at least 2 commissioners will be in attendance. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. This afternoon at 3:30, have a public hearing related to the home ARP allocation plan, followed by 4 in the afternoon, your regular Transportation Benefit District meeting. Wednesday, March 22nd, tomorrow at 9 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the Thurston County healthcare system. I'm myself looking forward to that, and I believe Darren Goss, the CEO, Providence Swedish, will be in attendance as well. Tomorrow, March 22nd at 10 in the morning, you have also a briefing related to the Waste and Recovery Center reconfiguration project. 2 in the afternoon, March 22nd, you have a follow-up on the Lake Management District administrative rules, proposed administrative rules. And at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow, March 22nd, you have a state of the Thurston County Transportation System briefing. Thursday, March 23rd, you have your standing commissioners check-in meeting at 10 in the morning, and an agenda has been posted. Friday, March 24, noon, you have your standing 2023 legislative virtual meeting with the Washington State Association of Counties, WASAC. Saturday, March 21st, you have been invited to participate at 8:30 in the morning to the South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity groundbreaking ceremony. And that is going to be located at 1150 73rd Avenue Southeast, Tumwater, Washington. Moving on to next week, Monday, March 27th, you have at noon, you have your standing Washington Association of Counties meeting. Also the Kiwanis meeting at noon. And at 4 in the afternoon, you have the standing House Washington Zoom meeting. Then Tuesday, March 28th, 9 in the morning, you have your regular agenda setting. Following in the afternoon at 2, the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. Any questions?
Thank you. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay, well, with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. It is 2:46. And at 3:30, we will be picking up with a public hearing for Public Health and Social Services, Housing and Urban Development, Home Art Plan, and Amendment Program Year 2021 HUD Annual Action Plan. So if you can join us at that time, with that, we are adjourned for our Board of County
Yes,
Commissioners.
and just for members of the public hearing, we'll use in the same Zoom meeting. So,
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.